So, welcome, Miss Zehra, to my unnamed show. We'll have a name for it by the time we air it. We will have a name for it. Okay. And I just wanted to just thank you for taking this time. I know you're very busy, you got a lot going on, but I just think you're so awesome. And I wanted to really just share your story, who you are with my community. And who knows? I don't know. Maybe
Who knows where it will
somebody
go?
out there, yeah,
Yeah,
somebody out there you'll connect with,
yeah,
and you could do your own thing. They could use your services, maybe not. Maybe you can meet them, use their services. I don't know, but I know that's what
I'm
we're
really
for.
just here to hang out with you, Joanne. Thank you. Thank you
That's it.
for this.
That's it. We're
Yeah,
just hanging out. We're just
yeah.
hanging out. And you guys who are listening to us now, you're just like a fly on the wall. But I want to just kind of interview her just so you guys can learn more about her. I know a nice bit about her, but I would love for you all just to kind of connect too and just meet some of my cool friends. So all right, so let's jump on in. First and foremost, what do we want to start with? I think um let's start with your story in terms of how you got here to doing what you're doing. And I know we haven't even told the people what you do, and that's fine. We're going to get there, okay? But let's talk about, who is Zehra and how did you get to the Zehra you are today?
Wow, that's a very long story,
I
and
know.
and that story has many small stories in it
Yeah.
that shaped my life. Who
Mhm.
am I? I am foremost a mother. That's like nothing else gets in between that
Mhm.
at all. Foremost, I'm a mother, and secondarily, I'm a coach. I'm a law of attraction expert. I'm an author. All the rest of it is secondary.
Mhm.
So that's how I see myself.
Yeah, I love it.
And how did I get here? Well, I got here by having babies. And that's what made me a mother.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So tell us about your kids. Like, what do you have?
I have two children, a boy and a girl.
Okay.
Yeah, my son is in university. My daughter's graduated and she's working. So they're big now. But we've gone through a lot of stuff getting there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think being a mother makes you a therapist. It makes you a coach and a therapist. Because,
Mm-hmm.
Joanne, I know you have two of your own and you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've sat down with clients and listened to their stories of their children. I think being a mother or being a parent really
Yeah.
makes you somewhat of a therapist because you have to handle
Yeah.
all those tantrums. You have to handle all those issues and problems and the insecurities and do this or don't do this and the discipline and all of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it makes you a very well-rounded person.
Yeah, definitely. I was
Yeah.
thinking that because when we as parents, we have to constantly manage, okay, the balance between, okay,
Yes.
is this a disciplinary moment? Is
Mm-hmm.
this a therapeutic moment?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a spiritual moment? Like you got to manage all of those things
Or am I just
emotionally.
being your friend?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Is this a friendship
Oh my
moment?
goodness. I can
Yeah.
tell you one of my biggest learnings came from the fact that when my daughter transitioned from, she's my older one. So when she transitioned from being a preteen to being a teen,
Mm-hmm.
the transition was hard for me because one minute I'd be treating her like she was still 5 years old. And then the
Mm-hmm.
next minute I would treat her like she was an adult.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it confused the life out of her.
Oh,
Like I looked at our relationship and we were at each other a lot more. And I
yeah.
was like, wait a second, it's not her, it's me. I'm confusing her because on the one hand, I tell her she's big now, she can make her own decisions. Then I take that power away and I tell her, no, you got to do what mommy says.
Mm,
So
okay.
it can't be one way and be the other way because it's
Yeah.
just confuses her.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had a lot of opportunity to practice coaching with my children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also, you and I share the background of being financial advisors. So I was a financial advisor for a very long time. And my financial advice practice went beyond just offering financial advice. It became very intimate, and, my clients relied on me for life advice.
Yeah.
And eventually what happened is that I ended up giving more life advice than financial advice.
Mm.
So I decided to make the transition to doing this full time.
Wow.
Yeah. And over the years, I've written 16 books. And I know it sounds crazy. I never thought I would even write one, but I've written 16. And I joke about it. I say every time I learn something, I write a book about it because I want to share what I've learned.
That's good.
So it's been a long journey with lots of ups and downs. I was born in a culture that was divided because I was born in Karachi, Pakistan. And Karachi is very diverse in the sense that the culture is split between Muslim, Christian, and Hindu. And there are a few other small groups. So, and I was born in a Muslim family, but I went to a Catholic school. I went, yes, I went to a convent school. In fact, not just a Catholic school, but I went to a convent school. It was run by Catholic nuns, the nuns of St. Joseph. And so what happened as a result, Joanne, was that I had these two very different philosophies of life.
Yeah.
At school and at home, the atmosphere was completely different.
Wow.
And it was confusing to me because I was constantly in this place where I was like, who's right? Are they right at home? Are they right at school? Like, which one is right? Which one is the right one?
They're totally different. Those are totally
oh my
different
goodness.
doctrines.
Oh my goodness. You have no idea. It was confusing. But I don't think anyone else saw my confusion because everybody was so used to that being the situation and nobody was questioning it. I was questioning it.
I'm taking notes. If you see me looking to the side, I'm taking notes because that's how I, process and
yeah.
so.
Yeah, I know. It's a habit. If you're a financial advisor, taking notes is a habit.
Yeah.
We write down everything.
We got everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And it has to be in my handwriting because if you type it up, I won't know what it was.
Right. Exactly.
But if it's on my yellow sheet that I write on, I know exactly where it is.
That's it.
So I understand completely. Anyway, that was the journey. That was the beginning of my journey. I didn't see it as a spiritual journey at that time, but I had lots of questions inside me. Why does Christianity say this? Why does Islam say this? Why does one culture say one thing? Why does another culture say a different thing? And the problem was I loved them all, but they didn't love each other.
Yeah.
See, that was my dilemma. My dilemma was I loved them all. They were all so good to me. They were all, I had so many friends. I went to their homes. They came to my home. I love them all, but I saw in society that there was this divide where they didn't love each other. And I didn't understand why they couldn't love each other.
Yeah.
So that's how I was always asking questions. And because I think I was always asking questions, I was very inquisitive. I was blessed because I had teachers who taught me outside of the curriculum. So I had teachers who gave me books because I was voracious reader. I'm always reading something, as you can see behind here.
Yeah. Authoring 6 books,
oh
16 books, I can see.
So I read a lot. And I was fortunate enough that my teachers gave me books about philosophy of life. So they were not books from the curriculum, they were outside of the curriculum. And those books really opened up my eyes. They made me think about philosophy and deeper I ask deeper questions about humanity and why do some people have this and other people have this, and all of that kind of thing. And then one of the other things that shaped who I became was the fact that my parents traveled a lot, and they traveled for work, not for pleasure. So we were gone to different countries, and we would go there and we would stay for at least a year, sometimes 2 or 3 years. And during that process, I found that people were the same everywhere. Like I could not see a difference. Like if you and this is like through my child's eyes, through the eyes of a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15-year-old, I could not see a difference. To me, all people were the same. And when people talked about differences, I couldn't understand why they were thinking that there was a difference. Because what I saw was hopes and dreams were the same everywhere. Everywhere people wanted to love, everywhere people wanted to prosper, everywhere people wanted to be healthy, everywhere people wanted to be good parents or have good children. Children wanted loving parents. So I didn't see a difference where other people always saw difference. So those questions kept evolving in my mind. And then I went through a very traumatic situation in my own life. Given the culture that I belong to, my parents arranged a marriage for me when I was 21, 22 years old. And that relationship turned out to be an physically and emotionally abusive relationship. So I ran away from home. I ran away. I was so scared. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was constantly afraid for my life. And I was not allowed to speak to my parents. So my parents had no idea what was going on in my life. My friends had no idea what was going on in my life because I was literally not allowed to speak to anyone. I was not left alone in the room with the phone.
Wait a minute. So you were not allowed to talk to your parents or your friends. So was that like a red flag to them to think that something was wrong, or was that normal?
You ask a very good question. I've never thought about it from my parents' perspective. I think that my parents just thought that if I'm not calling them or visiting them, that I must be really happy. Because I mean, that's the other. So she's so busy, she doesn't have time for us anymore.
Oh, wow.
Right? So they didn't know anything was wrong until I ran away. And I ran back to them. I ran to my mother. And they, they took me in and then they protected me.
So how long was that time period from you got married to running away?
6 months.
Oh, 6 months. Oh, wow.
It wasn't even, it was maybe 5 months.
Okay.
So it was not long.
That makes sense.
Things got bad very quickly.
Okay.
Very quickly. It was bad from the start. So I ran away and I ran back to my parents, and I had so many thoughts at that point in time in my head. It was like, okay, what's going to happen to me now? Like now I am in this situation where it's not acceptable in our culture. Divorce is not acceptable.
Okay.
Running away when you're 2 months pregnant is not acceptable. If you have a child with a man, you better stay with that man.
Wow. No matter what is going on.
So, and I had seen people in my culture do that. My mother had raised me with those kind of value systems. But I woke up one day and I looked in the mirror, and a voice inside me said, what sort of a mask are you going to wear today? Who are you going to be today? And I looked in the mirror and I realized that I didn't recognize that person who was in the mirror.
Wow.
And the thought in my head, the answer that came in my head was, you're pregnant just now. you can still leave. But if you stay and you end up having more babies, you will never be able to leave. So if you want to leave, this is it. You are 2 months in, you don't even have to keep the baby if you don't want to. But this is your only opportunity to run. So run.
These are the thoughts that were going through your head.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I ran. I found an opportunity and I ran, and I never went back. But it started me on this course of thinking, why did that happen to me? Why me? Because I was always the good little girl, always did what my parents said. I never harmed anyone, never lied, cheated, did anything sinful. And so I was like, this is not fair. Why did this happen to me? So that became my question. And that was the first book I wrote, is called Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People? That's the book that you can download for free on my website.
Okay.
That was the first little book that I wrote. Why me? Why do bad things happen to good people? Because that was my question all along for many, 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 many years. My question was, why do bad things? Like, if God is fair, then why do good people suffer?
Yeah.
Why is there hunger? Why is there poverty? Why, the best of intentions, things go wrong? Why do good people suffer? And sometimes bad people prosper. Like what I was taught by my culture, by my society. This is, someone who lies, cheats, kills, murders, rapes is a bad person. Well, but I saw lots of those people prospering. So it wasn't computing. It didn't compute. And then on top of that, having exposure to two very different religions, Christianity and Islam, and it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. Even the religion didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't see why a loving God would be a punishing God for people who are good people.
That's right. Yeah.
I get it. If somebody's bad, they should be punished, but why are good people suffering? So it was always this question that I had. And because my education was science-based, so my primary training was, I became a microbiologist. And then my parents didn't allow me to pursue higher education in microbiology because they were moving and they didn't want to leave me alone. That was not accepted practice. Girls stayed with their parents till they're married, so they cannot go to boarding school or anything like that. And where they were going, microbiology was not a subject that I could take at university. I couldn't continue my master's and further education in that subject. So I had to change gears and I went into business. And so that's how I ended up in the financial industry. But
Wow.
I started my career as a stock analyst. So I was always an analyst. First, I was a microbiology assistant in a lab, and then I was a stock analyst. So I was very analytical. And my thing was, there's got to be a reason for why things happen, and it's got to be consistent. And all I could see was the inconsistencies. So I needed to know what the formula for a good life was. And it had to be a consistent formula that could be replicated. Because if God's got a system, God can't be arbitrary. There's got to be a system.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? Because God is fair. So if God's fair, then that means God has a system that determines that fairness. So my quest was to find that system.
This is good. This is good. I didn't even know about this, y'all. Oh my gosh. This is so good. I didn't know about this.
You asked me about my journey, so here's my journey.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm like tearing up because I'm like, okay, I know why I was so excited about this. you know, and that's unusual for me because as a planner, as you know, it's important. Everything has to be planned. I need to
Yeah.
know what I'm going to say, what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Everything got to be in order,
Yeah.
right? And that wasn't the case, but yet I was excited for this, and I did not know why. But now, as I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Now I know why. So you said the quest for. I stopped writing.
For the
Then
system.
for the system, yes, yes.
If God is fair, how does God
Mhm.
determine who gets what?
Yeah.
Right? Because I didn't get, and I was good. So I
Mhm.
need to understand why God put me in that box
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
all the liars, cheaters, rapists, and criminals. Why did God
Mhm.
put me in that box?
Mhm.
So I went hunting for the system. And because I have a science background, I looked for the science. I was like,
Mm.
okay, no hokey pokey here. No, I don't, no woo woo here.
Mm.
I
My
need the,
pastor's gonna love this. My pastor's gonna love this.
I
You
want
said,
the science.
yeah, yeah.
There's got to be, because I mean, if God made our physical bodies, and even scientists, medical professionals don't know so much about the body. That's how advanced the physical body is.
Mhm. Mhm.
So there's this intelligence. And if it's so intelligent that it can manufacture a human body,
Mhm.
then it's got to have systems. There's a
Yeah.
system for
Yeah.
everything. There's a system for the planets revolving around the sun. There's a system for the weather's changing. There's a system for everything.
That's
God's
right.
created systems for everything. So
Yeah.
God must have a system for why bad things happen to good people.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
to find that system because I never want to be in that box again.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So I went looking for the science and I discovered physics. Physics, to me, physics explains, it's the bridge between spirituality
Mhm.
and psychology. Physics is the bridge.
Okay. Can't write
And
fast enough. I can't write fast enough. I got it. Okay. Okay. The bridge between spirituality and psychology is physics.
is physics.
Okay.
Because physics explains
Mhm.
everything about energy.
Yeah.
Psychology is all about thoughts.
Mhm.
Thoughts are energy.
Mhm.
Physics explains how thoughts become things.
Yeah.
And the reason it's the bridge between psychology and spirituality is because spirituality always tells us to have faith, not to worry, to trust, and be good.
Mhm.
So both have to do with thinking. Spirituality has to do with thinking and how you live your life. Psychology also has to do with thinking and how you think your thoughts and how you
Yes.
live your life.
Yes.
So physics is the bridge because physics explains how thoughts become things.
Okay.
And so the process of thoughts becoming things is Einstein's equation that everyone is familiar with, is E is equal to mc square, which really all it means is energy becomes matter and matter can convert back into energy. So if
Okay.
thoughts are energy, you are literally creating matter with your thought energy. You are manifesting what you want with your thought energy. Here's where this was the thing that changed everything for me. This nugget is that good intentions don't matter. It's your attention that matters, not your intention. So my intention is to be married and be happy. But my attention is on, oh my God, my parents are arranging this. I'm so scared. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if I'm going to like this person. That's fear. Where there is fear, there's absence of trust. So that's where the spirituality angle comes in.
Okay.
Fear Psychology says fear is a negative thought.
Mm-hmm.
And spirituality says if you're afraid, there's no trust.
Yeah.
So physics explains that your thoughts, even though your intention is to have a good marriage, but your attention is on fear, on fearful thoughts, you will manifest your fear, not your
That's right.
intention.
Yeah. Yeah.
You-
And scripturally, fear, it is a sin. Like that's from
exactly, because it's
yeah.
the absence of trust,
That's right. Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So this is where physics explains, and I have a whole presentation where I explain how the physics works,
Yeah.
going from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
But I found that answer. I found the equation. I found the formula that God uses, which is absolutely fair.
Mm-hmm.
And it explains why gratitude is so important, because gratitude is a positive thought. Your attention is on good things.
Yeah.
Your intention can be good, but if your attention is not in the same place as your intention, you're not going to get what you want. You'll get the opposite of what you want.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
So
Mm.
when I discovered all of this, and it happened, like I'm giving you a summary, it happened over a number of years.
Okay.
When this happened for me and I started understanding this, I started incorporating it in the way I offered financial advice as well. Because
Mm.
I discovered that people who are afraid don't do well,
Yeah.
because
Right.
they are focused on the fear.
Yeah.
So it just became something that I started doing, and people started asking me for help. And I was so busy giving life advice that I could no longer give as much attention as I wanted to give to my financial practice. And I just said to myself, one day I won't be able to handle it, and I'll transition into
Wow.
into the life advice business full time.
Wow.
Yeah. And like that too was a journey, because I always thought giving life advice,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't cost me anything to give you life advice, so why should I charge for it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I do have to put food on the table, so I
That's
need to
right.
charge for it.
That's right. One of my old colleagues, a guy I used to work with, he used to always say, "My gas tank don't run on love," and it's like, yeah,
Exactly.
I got a lot of love,
Exactly.
but that love ain't gonna get this
Exactly.
car moving or this mortgage payment.
Exactly. So that was a huge for me, there was learning in that,
Yeah.
because I thought, okay, I'm actually being spiritual because I'm helping teach people understand spirituality in a different way. And I always thought spirituality is not something that you sell for money.
Mm.
Like that was my own belief system,
Yeah, that
is
was your
that
belief.
spirituality is not something for sale. And
Mm-hmm.
so I found it very difficult to transition into saying, no, this is my time. And whether I'm giving financial advice or life advice, this is what my time is worth.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because you could be doing something else.
Else,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So that's how the business came about.
Okay.
It came
Okay.
about from my own personal quest, and then helping other people, and then saying, no, this really is what I want to do. Because when people understand this, and the shift that they make in their thinking and their life
Mm-hmm.
changes everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the problem happens when people don't even understand that they are being negative.
Yeah. Unconscious. They're not
Yes.
even conscious to.
Yes. So if you
Yeah.
can't see it, you can't
Yeah.
change it.
That's right.
That's where you need a coach, because a coach can see what you can't see.
That's good.
Because when you're too close to a situation, you literally cannot see it.
Yeah. 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 I have another analogy for that I use. I always say, and I forgot where I got this from, that when you are in the picture, when you're in the frame, you can't see the picture.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in the frame, you
Yeah.
can't see the picture.
Yeah, that's right. You need someone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
right? So that's where the coaching comes in. That's why I write the books that I write. That's why I offer the online courses that I offer, because my quest is now to teach as many people as I can how they can close the gap between their intention and their attention.
Mm.
And I've created a course around it called the Heart and Mind Alignment Method, because your intention rests in your heart. Your heart
Yeah.
always wants good things. Your attention rests in your mind. And
Yeah.
your mind is the one that goes all over the place.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So you literally have to control this beast
Yeah.
and align it up with your heart. And when you do that, all things become possible.
Wow. And but that takes that's a practice, right?
It's a practice. It
Okay.
starts with awareness.
Yeah.
You've got
Okay.
to be aware that your life is not going as well as it should,
Mm-hmm.
and other people like you are doing better than you. So that's the awareness. I'm doing something, not that someone is doing something to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing something that I need to change.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beginning.
Yeah.
Then the next thing is, okay, I need to get the knowledge. How do I do this? What is the real deal?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you discover all the science, or all the rules, and the
Yeah.
not the rules but the philosophy.
Okay.
That's where you learn the philosophy, you get the knowledge. But
Okay.
knowledge, unless you put it into action, is nothing. So
That's
then the
right.
knowledge has to become a skill, and that in between phase is the learning phase of putting it into action. That's the experimentation stage. You'll use it, and like riding a bike, you will fall a
Yeah.
couple of times, you won't get it
Yeah.
right until you start understanding how it works, and then it becomes a skill.
Okay.
And then when it becomes a skill, you still have to keep practicing it so that you can have mastery, because
Yeah.
mastery is where you have peace in your heart and life works the way you want it to.
Mm. Oh, this is so good.
So a lot of times people think, oh, like I'm just going to learn this. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
how many books have you read? And, what difference has it made to your life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you take the knowledge and you implement it in your life, it doesn't make any difference,
Yeah. That's right.
right? So what I love, love, love doing is offering group coaching programs where where I can answer people's questions. Because the thing is, if you have a question
Mm-hmm.
and you don't get the answer for it, you get stuck there.
Yeah.
You can't move forward because you keep spinning your wheels and saying, why,
Yeah.
right? So, why is that person married and I'm still not married? Or why is that person healthy and I do the same thing, I'm not healthy? So
Mm-hmm.
it's that why. You need to find the answers for your why,
Gotcha.
because it's usually your belief system, the thoughts that you have stored in your subconscious that you're not even aware are there, that
Yeah.
are holding you hostage.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to release that, all of that. and and
Mm-hmm.
if you can't see it, then you can't do anything about it,
Yeah.
right?
So is it safe to say that when you talked about the quest for the system, is this the system? Awareness, knowledge, skill, mastery, or is this something else?
No, this is the process.
That's the process. Okay.
That's the
Okay.
process, that's the journey. But
Okay.
the system is the science, is understanding how
Mhm.
energy
Mm.
behaves,
Okay.
and understanding that the system that determines what you will get in life is
Yeah.
exact, and it's based on energy. The mistake that we make is that we use the rules of the physical world. The rules of matter are different from the rules of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Energy behaves differently. So, for
Yeah.
example, um, something that is a gas
Mm-hmm.
can go everywhere all
Mm-hmm.
at the same time.
Yeah.
The air that you and I are breathing, it could have come from anywhere.
Yeah.
We don't know. but my phone can't travel like the air travels.
Right.
So the rules that apply to my phone cannot apply to air.
Yeah.
That difference, we don't see that difference. So thought energy is
Mhm.
invisible. It's energy. The
Yeah.
rules that apply to thought energy are not the same rules that apply to the physical world. This is
Yeah.
where the confusion happens because people feel that the rules should be the same.
Yeah.
An example is if I drop my phone will drop.
Mm-hmm.
Only my phone will break.
Mm-hmm.
But if this was non physical, meaning it was energy,
Mm-hmm.
and it fell,
Mm-hmm.
it would not only fall, but it would also take the lamp with it and my glasses and my water bottle. And because in the non physical world, in the world of energy, energy is connected because it can go anywhere.
Yeah.
So things are connected that we don't see the connection
Mm-hmm.
because we're looking for the type of connection that we have in the physical world.
Yeah.
That's not the kind of connection you have in the world of energy.
Yeah.
So you have to understand all of that in order to make sense of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything first is energy before it becomes manifested.
Yes. Yes.
Because it starts in your thought,
That's right.
right? So if you don't understand the non-physical world of energy, thought energy,
Mm-hmm.
then you don't know how that thought became this thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't, so many people come to me and say, I wasn't thinking of cancer. How did I get cancer?
Good question.
Because in the physical world, you can't see the connections. But if you start having, if you train yourself to see the non physical, the energetic world, you can see where your energy created that cancer.
Where the connection was made.
Yeah. So that's what we need to, that's the knowledge we need to gain.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's where it sets us free. That's where we suddenly feel like we have control. Because what is worry and anxiety? Worry and anxiety feel like we have no control over what's going to happen to us,
Yeah.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
when you understand the world of energy, thought energy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if I think this thought, this is how it's going to work out. If I think
Yeah.
this, so now the mystery is gone. Now you have control because you can control how you think your thoughts,
Yes. That's
right?
good. Yep.
So then life keeps getting better and better and better and better.
Mm.
So that's what I do. I teach people to start seeing things differently
Yeah.
so that they can start thinking differently,
Yeah.
so that they can speak differently, and then their results change.
Yes. 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 And you show them the little practices to help them to do those different things.
Yes. Yes. The biggest thing is to teach people to stop worrying.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing is how do we, because here's the thing, Joanne, one of the things that I realized in my life is that um, my father taught me this lesson actually, that in our culture, worrying has become a good thing. Let me explain. If I call you and I say to you, Joanne, haven't seen you for a few days, girl.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening? I was worried about you.
Mm-hmm.
What am I really saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying, Joanne, I care about you.
Yeah.
So worry has become the equivalent of caring. If I don't,
Yeah.
if I worry, I care. And who doesn't want to care?
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
wants to care.
Yeah.
So we worry because we care.
Yeah.
But caring is positive vibration and worry is negative vibration.
Negative. Yeah.
So you're not going anywhere when you
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah.
Worry is not the equivalent of caring. It's in
That's
fact,
good.
in energetic terms, it's the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
But people do it all the time. My mother will call me and she'll say, I was worried about you. What she's really saying is, I care about you.
Yeah.
right? And people will say, what do you mean you're not worried about me? What are they saying? You don't care about me.
Yeah. Wow.
And so this is all turned around on its head. That's why we worry, because worry has become a good thing.
So we have to uproot that belief system first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Joanne, I love you. That's why I'm not going to worry about you.
Yeah.
Imagine saying that to someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not going to get it.
They're not. They're like, what?
Exactly. They're not going to get it unless they understand that worry and caring are opposite vibrations.
Yeah.
And as a culture, as a society, we're not ready for it. It seems so wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
my mother raised me to worry about things that I care about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But worry hurts me.
It hurts us. Yes. Yeah.
So that's so turned on its head, Joanne. And that's my mission. My mission is to help people understand that worry is not helpful and it is not caring.
Yeah. Oh, this is so good. All right. So, okay. I need more of this. I need more of this. I don't know about y'all listening in, okay? And so I know if y'all feeling anything like I'm feeling, you're like, this is so good. How can we get more of this information, more, connected? So I'm so mad that I have something after shortly because we could keep this conversation going, honey. I'm telling
yes.
yeah, we might have to do a part 2. But yeah, so tell me how can we get more of this information and knowledge? I mean, what's the next best, like, because as I was looking at but now you know what, that question, I don't even have that question no more, because when I was just kind of looking at some of your information that was in your bio that I was going to use for when we decide to post this or whatever, a question popped up because one of your things said one of the things that you did was you help people, remove the blockages.
Mm-hmm.
Get
Yeah.
back to it. You help
Yeah.
people remove the blockages. And so one of the questions that came to my mind is like, okay, so what about those who know their self-worth? How do you help them? But I feel like I've got the answer to that, because even people who think they know their self-worth, you don't know what you don't know. There's still some unconscious
Exactly.
blockages that
That's right.
I feel like, that's
So let me just summarize that for you. Here's what I tell people as a rule of thumb. If there's something that you desire that you are not making progress, visible progress towards, and it's been waiting to happen for more than 12 months, you have blockages.
Okay.
You have blockages that you don't even know you have.
Yeah.
Because they're in your subconscious, right? So you can't see them.
Yeah. That's right.
So that's because the universe responds right away. Because every thought gets a response. And I have a joke. I say, God is not a selective listener. God is listening to every thought you think.
Everything. Wow.
Every single thought, and responding to every single thought. So, so if you understand that, then you understand that if something is not happening for you, and it's been a couple of months, you must have a blockage. Otherwise, you'll be making progress towards it.
Yeah.
And that's the key.
So let me ask you this before you give us some marching orders. So after you went through this whole journey and this quest, where did you land at in terms of spirituality? Like what does that look like in terms of religion?
Oh, that's such a good question. Yeah, so after I got all confused with all of this stuff, I came to a place where now I have complete understanding of religion, any religion. Because you see, here's the thing, all religions teach you faith. whether
Yeah.
it's Christianity, Islam, Buddhism,
Mm-hmm.
Hinduism, all religions
Mm-hmm.
teach you gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
There's not
That's
a
right.
single one that says, go diss people, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So basically, they're all saying the same things.
Yeah.
And this material explains all of it because all of it is positive thinking,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
right? So there's a science behind it. But
Mm-hmm.
these ancient religions at that point in time, they didn't understand energy. They didn't
Mm.
understand electricity. They didn't understand the science of physics did not exist.
Okay.
So they did not put it into scientific language.
Yeah.
So it sounds like, oh, this is woo woo, or, you know, you just have to believe it without understanding it. No, there is an understanding to it. It is very scientific because our entire world is based on science,
Yes, that's right.
right?
That's right.
So it's just about taking a step back and understanding all of that.
Yeah.
And we can do that. We now are humanity understanding our scientific knowledge is at a place where we can understand the science of spirituality. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Because one of the first thing you just made me think about, if I'm not mistaken, when I several years ago, I attended the Baltimore School of the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like it's a 3-year program or whatever. But one of the believe I can't remember which class it is, but one of the things that they taught, and I remember they said God is science.
Mm-hmm.
That God is science. That
Yeah.
science, that's what science is. It's God. Like,
Yeah.
and so I was just like, at the time I didn't quite understand it.
Yeah.
But now as I've learned more, I get it. And my
Yeah.
pastor, he teaches faith and science. He
Yeah.
teaches how faith and
Yeah.
science, and it's not a lot of people from, I'm from the Christian faith, right? Um, um, there's not a lot of Christian leaders who teach it,
No.
science and
No.
faith. So,
No, there aren't too many people in any faith
oh, okay,
who
okay,
teach it from the science point of view.
okay, okay.
But I tell you, we are getting there. We
Yeah,
are
we
getting
are.
there.
We
Yeah.
are.
More
Yeah.
more and more people are asking the question, why do bad things happen to good people?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one of the not that. So, apologetics is something that I gravitate to. But that's the number one question that you get when you're
Exactly.
talking to people
Yeah.
that stops people from believing in faith, period, right?
Yes,
Not just
exactly.
Christianity. That's the
Exactly.
first, but especially
That's right.
Christianity, that's the first thing they ask. Why?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
my husband talks a lot about a friend that he has who, this guy was a believer, but something happened to his friend and he just couldn't understand why that would happen. And then when they were going through
Exactly.
the process of this is what messed him up when they were going through the process of preparing for the funeral and people were coming over to the house and all of that. The people who came kept saying things that he didn't understand, like, oh, God loved them best, and
Mm-hmm.
all these
Mm-hmm.
cliche things
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that
yeah.
made him angry.
Yeah.
And it turned him, and that's the question that he always asks. Well, why would this happen?
Yes,
How could,
exactly.
if God is this,
That's right.
why and how could this happen?
Exactly. A lot of people are going around asking this question in their hearts.
Yeah.
And I believe that this question needs to be answered openly so that
Yeah.
people can get the answer
Yeah.
and start living life
Yeah.
fully
Yeah.
without fear,
Yeah.
without anxiety and worry and all of those negative emotions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's what my journey is all about. That's what I want to bring to the world,
Yeah.
is this concept that, yeah, just worry from now on. If you can just hang on to one thing from our discussion,
Mm-hmm.
is that worry is not the equivalent of caring.
Yeah. I wrote that down. Yep. It's not the equivalent of caring. Yep.
No. It's in fact the opposite. Because
Yeah.
if you worry, you're sending negative energy to that person that you care about.
Mm.
You don't want
Wow.
that. If you care about the person, you want to send them blessings and love, not worry.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So don't worry about the people you love. Just love
Mm.
them.
That's good. That's good. All right. So, how can people connect, get more of this information, get more of Zehra, just get
Oh, for
more
sure,
of
for
you?
sure.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, this is so good.
my handle, because I have a longish name,
Okay.
my handle is my first initial and my last name. So Z Mahoon, Mahoon. That's
Okay.
my website. That's my Instagram. That's my Facebook. That's my YouTube. It's
Okay.
it's all Z Mahoon.
Okay.
And if you
So
go
your
to my,
website is zmahoon.com?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, zmahoon.com. So if you go
Okay.
to my website, you can download the free book, Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People?
Mm-hmm.
And if you are interested in the science, how things work, the book that captures that and makes it easy to follow along is Thrive, Thrive, Thrive.
Okay.
And that has diagrams in it that explain how the energy movement happens.
Mm,
Yeah.
good. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. See, guys, so as I said, like, I knew what she did as a law of attraction and mindset coach. I knew that was her title. I knew what she did. But I didn't know all of we talked about today of like how she got there type of thing. And it's just a beautiful thing when you see, you like when you know, when you learn, you connect with somebody at their core first, and then you hear the story, the journey that made them who they are, and then it just really just amplifies it. Like it just took it to another level. Like you appreciate them and their journey so much more because now it's like, oh, okay, I see, how this is happening, why this and why that. And yeah, so this, I'm just really excited about this. Thank you so much, Zehra, for taking the time to share your story, to share your journey. And I know if nobody got nothing from it, I did. But I know my tribe, they like me, right? We like substance, right? And I feel like you gave substance today in understanding of just who you are, how you got here. And I know that it's more to the story, right? But I'm so now to get the more, you guys can connect with Zehra yourself and see. Now you see why I wanted to introduce you. And so I'm grateful that she's extended who she is, the time that we've spent today, and the furtherance of her impact, because that's what this for me is about. Friends where we socially driven impact, right?
Exactly.
We're making an impact
Yeah.
socially, right? Not just within our own silos and communities, but these women, and you heard it today, as making. And I want to hear more about like ways that some of the things that you were doing with your financial advising clients, like how you were using some of these techniques, because I would love to incorporate that into my own practice, because I know like people come with a lot of this stuff.
Yes.
And while I'm fixing it on the surface level in terms of practical, I'm listening to this other book now, and it talked about one of the ways you got to kind of change the way you look at a reward system of as it relates to staying on track. Like I can't remember, but I'm going back to it. But this kind of makes me think about that. It's like you got to do a different approach. So because I can get people tend to go be on track for a minute and then they fall off the bus.
Exactly. That's the issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the issue.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
good while I'm with them and I'm consulting with them
Yeah.
for our checkups and for
Yeah.
that time that we're putting the plan together.
Yeah.
But then 6 months down the line, like, oh, Javon, the time for that annual to come around, they done fell off the bus, and then I got to
Yeah.
get them back on. But I need to figure out this part.
Yeah.
right? Of how
Exactly.
to
They have
help
to
them to
change their
stay on track.
beliefs. Yeah.
Yeah,
In
change their belief.
there are fears in their subconscious mind.
Yeah,
There are
yeah,
blockages in their subconscious mind that are
yeah,
preventing them from doing the things that they should be doing.
yeah, yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. That's it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, thank you again so much. I know I just got so many more questions. So I do, so the best way for people to connect is through the do you have any more group sessions, challenges, or
All
anything
the
coming
time.
up? All the
All
time?
the
Okay.
all
Okay.
the time. All the
Okay.
time. Just I
Okay.
just completed one. I did money. Money is what I do in January.
Okay.
Okay, so money mindset mastery.
Okay.
That's
Yes.
in January. Then I do a self-worth one that's later on in the spring. And
Uh-huh.
now the next one that I'm going to do is on relationships. And so
Okay.
there's always something going on. And I'm just launching the Law of Attraction Toolkit. So Law of Attraction is the term that is being used for this
Okay.
bridge that we create between psychology and
Ah,
spirituality. That
okay.
bridge, that's being called law of attraction in today's lingo. It was
Okay.
always there before, but there
Yeah.
was no real terminology for it.
Yeah.
Now we
Yeah.
have a terminology. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's what we're calling. Okay. This is awesome. Okay. So the next one coming up is the relationships. I want to be a part of that for sure. Yeah, that's good. And I think you also, I remember I don't know, from in our private message chat, you talked about something you had coming up. Did that already happen, and you were inviting us to be your special guest? Did that already happen?
Oh, yeah. That was the science of spirituality.
Ah, when was that?
That was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, man, I wanted to be on that. That's
But that's
awesome.
okay. That's
Okay.
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 I did. I'll send you the link to it anyway because it was recorded.
Okay, okay, okay. That's
Yeah.
awesome. All right. So look, guys, get connected. Let me end this here because we can keep going, going, going. Oh, yeah, I got another event.
Yeah.
So I thank you again so much, Zehra. This has been
Thank you,
awesome. And I'm
Joanne.
sure for those who are listening, show your love to Zehra in the comments, message her, let her know that her time with Dr. Javon was most valuable and appreciated. Okay. Love you guys. See you guys next time.
Bye for now.